Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of The Lost Ark Bard. So now we'll continue on with the mission. We'll go ahead and run over here. Note that we have to kill all these rock golems, but we don't have to kill the very first ones that we encounter. We can just go ahead and wait, and as you see, we do it there. This golem is super important, this one guy all by himself. Killing him opens up the ability to have this jump on the left. If you don't see that jump, you must kill that golem. If he's already down, just wait for him to spawn again. He'll spawn in just a couple seconds. Hit that jump, go over, grab 2 Mokoko seeds hidden in the bushes underneath the trees. And off we go to the next step in the quest, down here. On the Russian server, this is where you actually get your mount. But here, we already got one. We already got our pet too.
Is where Owen saw the grave robbers.
So here I decided I wanted to put on my Platinum Founders Pack skin, so we'll just go ahead and zip through that. Had to open it up from 15 different crates. And she looks pretty great. Not so much of a fan of the hat, but you can actually hide headwear. So if you open up P for person, you can hide your headwear. But weirdly, that didn't actually hide it. Here's a hint for you. You actually have to go to skins and virtues on that same menu and hide also the skin as well as the headgear. If you don't hide both, then the hat will always show up. And of course, I didn't want to change the title right now, so I was messing around with that. You can change titles if you want here. It shows you how to do it. I never really bother. I just like having your name. I suppose I should do it at some point just to get probably legacy points for it. So I'm just trying to figure out how to hide the headgear because I said it should be hidden and it's not hidden. And on the Russian server, I never used skins before. But here, oh, cool. I hide the skin. I hide the headgear. No, close. That's actually the weapon skin. So just living with a hat for now. Except for I didn't realize that I didn't put my heart back on. So I need to put my heart back on, otherwise I'm going to have nothing to fight these guys with. I'm coming over here to actually get this Mokoko seed. At this point I'm like, oh, that's wrong, because I noticed the harp skin is off now. I'll figure it out eventually. So now we're going to run down to this next point where we're actually going to go into a dungeon. Actually, not a dungeon, just an instance. A real dungeon's very different. Well, not that different, but it's different. One super good tip about this instance, you don't have to kill everything. Just run past everything. Right to the boss. And you can't use your mounts in here, so don't bother trying. Literally ignoring everything. Running to the boss. Now we enter sort of a mini cutscene.
All of this over church crap. The boss will have our heads if we don't find this tablet. Better be
Of course, You might wonder how a lady with great big wings on the side of her dress can actually hide behind a post. But hey, it's a video game, so let's have fun with it.
What's that?
I guess you can't hide that well.
We've got an eavesdropping rat. You ain't leaving here alive.
So this is the first time you're going to see what a real boss does. A boss has multiple health bars. You see at the top his health bar, but he's got actually several health bars. And what you have to do is you have to get rid of every one of his health bars in order to actually kill the boss. In this case, this boss only has like 3 health bars. So. But he also shows what he's going to do in there. Now, what will tell you, it'll tell you right now, play the Song of Escape. Do not do that.
Where the tablet is hidden.
Click on the compass icon
I ordered my people to pull out the
and
tablet.
teleport and save yourself 15-minute ride. No, 10-minute.
Once this is done,
Excellent. Now we can go report in.
The leader of the grave robbers wrote, "We've located the object in Kolsch Valley."
And we're done here. There's actually 2 more Mokoko
Grave
seeds
robbers.
that you can get in
Destroy
Log
the
Hill,
tripod.
but we're never going to get those because they're actually impossible to get without a song that's a high-level song. But we'll just run past those, so we don't do the entire right side of this upper map because it's pointless. But we will grab this viewpoint. Don't go across the wire. It's the wrong direction. Jump on the servers again. And there's another viewpoint right on the bridge. Oops, missed it. Ah, got it. Viewpoints are collectible, so try to catch them all. And down we go. Talk to this guy in main quest.
Are you saying the grave robbers are looking for a piece of the tablet in Pride Home Cathedral?
Now we're just gonna run up here and kill all these shaman creatures and give honey to this guy who's hiding in the tree.
I smell
So there's a guy hiding
Where's
in
that
this
coming
bush,
from?
and we can get a quest from him to get some honey.
I smell honey. Where's that coming from?
So now we'll just go around and kill all these guys, get some honey, finish some quests. And now we're back to the main quest line again. We need to upgrade our equipment, so before we sell to the potion merchant, we're going to upgrade our equipment. And then we're going to sell to the potion merchant. Notice they only have normal potions, so we don't get to upgrade our potions right now. But hey, we'll get to do that in a bit. But we can get rid of a lot of junk that we've got, so that'll be good.
You useless porters.
And make sure we repair our equipment, but we don't need to at this point. And hallelujah, I finally figure out how to turn off the headgear, but turn the weapon. I still haven't turned the harp template back on. The harp skin.
The ruins in Kosh Forest are overrun with Toxiclaw robbers.
So now we'll just go ahead and run up here, kill a bunch of guys, finish these quests. And here we go into another instance. So in here, there's going to be another bad guy that we got to get rid of. Another boss, that is. This one uses ranged, but he works the same way as the other bosses. Actually, this guy isn't even a boss, he's just a unique. Because you know that because he does have multiple health bars. No, I take it back. He does have multiple health bars. He just doesn't have that many of them. But once we hit him, the health bars showed up. That targeting is still messing with me. It's gonna be a couple of days before I get used to it, I think. Yep, I hit the escape key. I need to get a keyboard that has a little bit more distance between escape and F1. Those pop-ups can be actually quite annoying. It's trying to encourage me to use my major skill, but I don't really want to right now because I'm not really under that much pressure. So I just keep telling it to go away. Leave me alone. And as usual, this guy arrives late.
Adventurer, are you okay? Robbers are after the tablet piece? What do they want it for?
So out of the instance we go. And we go out right back in. Why? Because we need to go get that Mokoko seed. And you can't get the Mokoko seed when you're in the instance. And I'll find it eventually. No, actually, it turns out it's over here. Got to work on the map reading skills here. By the way, that creature with that little symbol above his head is a unique monster, so I'm going to go ahead and kill him because you actually get an achievement for killing a certain number of uniques. And I think for killing one of each kind of unique. And finally I find the Mokoko seed here in the bushes, but I've got to deal with all these guys hitting me first before I can collect it. So you see they keep interrupting me. Annoying, but manageable. And now we'll go ahead and teleport right back to... Oh, I guess we won't. Now that we got rid of that guy, now we'll teleport back to the main platform.
You useless porters.
The Toxiclaw robbers have their hideout set up in some isolated place along the path.
Upgrade some equipment. I don't actually use the stun grenades or the other items. Probably if you're better than me, you can find really good use for those, I guess. And we have another spot mission. I see that it gives me a recovery potion or an HP percentage potion. Those are very useful in dungeons where you can't use the normal health potions. So I decide to run back and kill a few of these birds or whatever the hell they are. I just realized I forgot one. And if you don't finish the mission and you leave the zone, then you fail the mission. So grab that healing ether, or the ether rather. Go ahead and enter this dungeon. And in this case, we entered on normal. A lot of times I do hard just because I like the challenge. Though in Morai, that can be a serious problem. You can die really quick if you're not careful. Now, this is completely changed from the Russian server, and that's the reason why I'm sort of hesitating here. I'm like, what the heck is going on? This dungeon has been completely rewritten. And I'm wondering where all of the Mokoko seeds are. So I actually play an escape, thinking if I go out and come back in, I can actually get into the dungeon. But no, it's just different than the Russian server. I think, oh, maybe it was because I didn't put it on hard. Okay, we'll try it again on hard. And same situation. So in the Russian server, this would be over halfway through the dungeon, and there would be many Mokoko seeds that you've already missed. I found out working later with a buddy of mine that actually those Mokoko seeds are in here, but they're in different locations. So in this dungeon, the Lost Ark map of Mokoko seeds will not help you in the slightest. There's only one or two that are in the same position. The rest are elsewhere. So I edited out the time that I spent just basically sitting there talking to a friend of mine, wondering what's going on here. It was kind of jarring to see things change so badly. And it turns out I actually missed the Mokoko seed. It's actually right in front of me. I didn't see it. I'll end up coming back in here later to grab it. But I do notice that I have some points that are unspent, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get dissonance up to level 7, which give me that second level of dissonance. So unspec everything, but you see not enough points. You need actually quite a few points to get any skill up to level 7. So because the number of points it takes rises, not linearly. So we grab Sound Shock, White Explosion, and let's go ahead and rip through this dungeon. So we decide to just go ahead and run the dungeon, or I decide rather to just go ahead and run the dungeon. And I'm just going to fast forward it because most of it is just killing trash mobs and breaking things inside the dungeon. It's not that big a deal. Mostly I'm using Dispel Dissonance. One thing you might want to note about the Bard is that she doesn't have a lot of mobility skills. So it's a lot harder for her to get out and disengage with somebody. That can be actually a serious problem in some serious dungeons and also in PvP. So be careful with that because you can easily get caught and killed. So there's actually a Mokoko seed here. We're just going to go ahead and grab that to figure out exactly where it is. And then there's another one up nearby here. These are the only two that are actually in the same position as they are in the map. Later, I come back in here with my friend, my friend's advice, who actually went and found all the seeds, and we actually get all the Mokoko seeds for Cyxina in this dungeon. Okay, now we're ready to open the gate and fight the first boss. And fight the main boss of the dungeon, rather. A little cutscene with Carmine. Yeah, we'll just skip it for now. This guy's gonna... He's got a few cool moves that you have to be careful of. Whoops, watch out for that. That's a great example of just dodging out of the red carpet or whatever warnings they have. And again, the controls are actually still giving me problems. So that's the reason why you might see my gameplay here against this boss to be a little bit rough. It's pretty jarring when the controls are changed immediately. When you get into a game, usually you expect them to be relatively the same, but nope. So you'll see that she just basically avoids all of his mage throws. Now this one, she didn't avoid because she was busy casting a spell, so... And I hit the wrong button. I hit escape instead of F1. I need to change that keyboard. My escape and F1 keys are literally right next to each other, and I hit them by accident all the time. It actually has killed me before, too. Sound core is not that great of a skill. It can kill things locally short, but doesn't really do that much damage. So he's down to his last health bar, and there he is. He's dead.
So many tablet hunters these days. You're too late. I already gave it to the demons.
If the demon has the tablet piece, Prideholm is in danger. We must hurry back.
So here I'm just organizing my skills. I now have enough to use Dissonance and Survival of the Fittest, and that is a super important skill. Now normally we would just teleport out to our next quest objective, but in this case there's no need to do that. You just run out the exit of the dungeon and you'll be right back into the town. So I'm just clearing some basic, upgrading my equipment, clearing some achievements and so on and so forth. There's just a ton of complexity to this game. Don't try to understand everything all at once. Generally, if something flashes, it needs your attention, and you should go take a look at it. So now we're gonna save the world from the demon's invasion. So this guy's at it again, killing a bunch of people. So now we'll blitz through here. She's just gonna kill all these guys. Basically, she just suckers them into dissonance, which now does a ton more damage. And I moved sound wave vibration onto my Q because it's a better skill, and eventually I'll upgrade that quite far.
Thank you.
So now Rhapsody of Light is now on the bottom. It's not that great of a skill. We can still use it temporarily though. Rescue all the civilians. Here I'm just showing my friend that you can attack with a right click to invert the controls to make it a little bit more realistic, or not necessarily realistic, to make it more compatible with those of us that played on the Russian server. And now I gotta get used to that because it's not exactly the same thing either. So these guys have multiple health bars, but they're just mini bosses. They're not that hard to kill. This actually goes down pretty quickly unless you're a complete fool.
Thank you. Oh, it's not like the demons.
So now we rescue Neria, we rescue all the bad guys, we kill all the bad guys. Gotta kill this guy. I could do another series, Speed Bard. Take all the raw footage and just put it on hyperspeed. So this guy takes a little bit longer to whittle down, but he's not that hard. Didn't really actually challenge me. There are other bosses later that will, by the way. Don't think that this is the typical. So back in the church we go again.
What does the tablet say?
Do not make me ask again.
I have nothing to say to a demon.
Oh, you'll say plenty, old man. Just watch. Farouk! More victims? Finally, a priest with a little fight in them. My turn.
You'll pay for what you've done to these people.
such power. You are a Delane. Interesting. Sadly, I think it's time to leave. But don't worry. We'll meet again.
So I left that cutscene in there because it was super important to the game. Basically, this guy is half demon, half human, and that's what gives him his power.
Varut! Amen.
Well, it's super important to the story. It's actually not super important to the gameplay.
I know, but I had no choice.
The more you use it, the further you will be consumed by its darkness.
I won't use it again. About what you saw back there. I am a Delane, born of a human and a demon.
Just said
But
that.
that's not important right now. The tablet.
It is safe, as are its secrets, thanks to you. This tablet, now complete, describes the secret location of the fabled Ark of King Lutera. Stay in this village for a couple of days. I'll share what I learned from the tablet when the situation here.
And now we're going to finish up these quests, and this will finish up the first section of this video. And now we will wake up in the inn, and that will be where we're going to call it. We'll actually pick this up next time. Until then, everybody enjoy playing. Hopefully this has been of help
I
to
hope
you.
you slept well.
And we'll see you next time.
You're wanted at the cathedral. By Father Varut himself.